Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gifted Urban Convos. I'm your host, Grace, for today, and today we'll be tackling a timely and yet a timeless topic that is reflective parenting. And I'm joined with Eben, who is a counseling psychologist, a mentor, and an author. And he's going to take us through this journey of reflective parenting. Karibu sana, Eben.
Thank you so much.
And let's start. What is maybe explain to us and give us the meaning of reflective parenting?
Uh, Thank you, Gracie. Parenting is a very enormous subject, and quite unfortunate that there is no school for parenting. And 60 years in Kenya with the curriculum, and now we're going to CBC, there is no school for parenting.
Yeah.
And it startles my heart. Then how do we bump into something that we are meant to do it perfectly,
Yeah.
yet never thought about? We know there is conversations about finances and everything. Why not parenting? So reflective parenting is where, as a parent, you are conscious of what you are doing in terms of emotionally, behaviorally, in regards to your daughter or son.
Yeah.
So, unlike where other people are expecting to be perfect parents, reflective parenting is just being aware of what you're doing and its impact on that child. So you are reflective, you are intentional,
Yeah.
yet thinking through whatever you're doing and the possible outcomes.
Wow. And currently we're living in the modern days, and we know how, when you sit with your parents, like they explain how their mothers and their fathers used to be like while they were young, while growing up. And maybe how does reflective parenting differ from the traditional parenting?
While traditional parenting looks like the parent is the master, the parent is the boss.
Yeah.
Reflective parenting is you as a parent thinking about, I am nurturing or I'm a parenting a this age child, and I can't use the old dog's trick to do something that is present.
True.
So it differs from the point of thoughtfulness, and thoughtfulness looking at what is the impact of what I am doing, not just passing down patterns. And I know in Africa we are raised in a manner that it's like military kind of being raised, where the mother or mom says it's it, when dad says it's it. But reflective parenting is getting to understand the times we are in, the kids and the teenagers and the children we are parenting, and looking at how do we support them.
Yeah.
So in essence, it's kind of a collaborative kind of approach, rather than a dictatorship, rather than a parent knows it all, but then where we are able to have communications that help to push the entire parenting aspect in terms of a teamwork.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That's quite a lot in terms of understanding reflective parenting. And maybe you can just share with us, what is the importance? At times we ask ourselves, why not go my mom's way? I grew up very well. My character was streamlined by my mom or my dad being a dictator. So why should I consider reflective parenting?
The reason why you should reflective parenting, it's because of, allow me say something, it's called the dead horse theory. The dead horse theory is an Indian old story that says that if you discover that you are mounting or you are riding on a dead horse, you don't continue riding on it, you don't even give it fodder to be better,
Yeah.
but you dismount. And why should we then move from the traditional get to reflective?
Yeah.
It's because the horse is already dead. Because as a counseling psychologist, as a teen coach and mentor, I get parents come to me and tell them, my kid does not understand me, I don't understand them either. And it looks like it's a tug of war,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
simply means that the horse is already dead,
Yeah.
that the old parenting styles and techniques are no longer working.
True.
And it would be madness to continue doing the same thing and expect different results.
That's so
And
true.
that's why the aspect about reflective parenting is, number one, is because times have changed, but number two is we can do better when we know better, and we cannot parent whom we have not understood. And reflective parenting seeks, number three, to understand our children, our teenagers, get to know what are their unique challenges, what are they going through,
Yeah.
so that we are able to support them better.
Yeah, and also in the different segments of our life where we transition, to adolescent stage to now adulthood. Like we don't expect currently parents to enforce or rather streamline our character by beating us. That's what was happening maybe earlier because of the parents being the dictators and all that. So as at now, at least we've gotten a chance to understand what is reflective parenting. And now in our minds, like we're considering it because this is where you get to understand your child, you get to align with what your child desires, what your child wants in life as well. You find like a 5-year-old girl or a boy can have a conversation and a real conversation, and they can ask you, why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me not to touch this? Why are you telling me not to eat this sugar? And they really need answers. Welas kitambo, nani amekula skari anachapwa. So yeah, I think now coming to all this, maybe what are the common challenges that parents do face during parenting? And yeah, we can just highlight a few and maybe tell us how can we maybe tackle these challenges. Yeah.
Cool. Even before I get to that, you mentioned something very important, that the now child, the Gen Alpha, and right now we're getting to Gen Beta
Yes.
from 2025,
2025.
that they are not taking instructions without interrogating them. That then instructions are to be interrogated.
That's so true.
If you're telling me, hi Jaden, don't touch that cup.
Yes.
As Jaden, I'm like, Mom, why should I touch it? And at times, parents, we feel like, why are you questioning instructions? But then Jaden is not questioning instructions so that they deflect from them.
Yeah.
But they are questioning instructions so that they just need to understand.
Yeah.
And I feel that one of the challenges that parents face is number one, lack of insight.
Yeah.
And I repeatedly say this, that just like owning an oven does not make one a baker, so is being a biological parent make you an effective parent.
True.
And at times that looks like a little bit intrusive and threatening, but that is the reality of it.
Yeah.
And one is that lack of insight. But number two is the changing times. Times change really fast. And I feel like at times parents are not able to move with the changing times. And the changing times does not mean the rubric of the society, the values have changed, but then how we administer them has really changed.
Yeah.
So one, lack of insight. Two is times that have really changed. But also, number three, to empathize with the parents, is the needs around provision for this child. And it looks like parents have lots of things to do and don't have time for kids. While I'm handling parents, I ask them, how many of you spend at least an hour a day with your child daily? And they intellectualize. They tell me, you know what, I have to go out to work. And I really
Left with
empathize.
their nannies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are so much demands and all that. And I feel that parents do not have the ample time they used to have to just with their kids to study them. Like if you're in this city, no Nairobi, if you have to get to work at 8, you woke up at 5. Probably the kid was not even awake. You left them with the nanny. In the evening when you're coming, you're stuck on traffic. They slept. And all that you have to do is have a few minutes on Sunday after lunch, after church, have a lunch. And that is very minimal time to be with them. So I feel that the demands about time also is them. But also number 4 is the complexity of the challenge that affecting the child.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the village personally. And growing up in the village, it was collective responsibility that if you do something wrong and a neighbor finds you, you'll be caned and you'll be taken to Mama Ebe.
By your neighbor.
Yes. And Mama
Wow.
Ebe will still cane you to add on what the neighbor did. But right now, there are lots of complexities that then my child is my child. You
Yes.
shouldn't
Even a teacher currently cannot cane your child.
Yes.
Why?
You shouldn't interrupt.
Yeah.
And the complexity of the challenges the now teenager is facing, the now child is facing, from social media engagement. There is lots of exposure. It looks like a global world. The music around, the drama, aspects of global warming and all that coming together. And I feel like the present child is so much bombarded with stuff to sieve through TikTok reels, to sieve through TV shows, to sieve through CBC, and all these complexities are just quite enough for a parent to really just fathom, and it is crazy.
Wow, you've just mentioned something about social media, and that's where we want to just divert or delve into our conversation and talk about the pressure of modern parenting. Let's talk about work-life balance, social media, discipline. Currently, you find like a 5-year-old child has already a TikTok account. They're there exposed. They can just take their mom's phone and they're, I'm in TikTok, and you can just see. And before they restricted the content there, you will some of the kids like used to navigate through, the videos just pop up, any kind of contact. It's not limited 18-year-old or above or below. So yeah, the pressures of modern parenting.
uh, Social media, because it's really on top of my mind.
Yeah.
But also, right now I am handling Gen Alphas a lot. These are born from 2013. And Gen Alphas were born when gadgets were there. Unlike me and you, who started with Nokia C10 and then moved to Techno and then moved to
Exactly.
Samsung
Yeah.
Y something, and then these were born with gadgets. I have a neighbor, a kid who comes to my house, and I have been having my phone for quite some time, but I didn't know that Alexa can help you search something on YouTube. But then this kaboy comes and he says, Alexa, tell me about the difference between Neymar and Mbappe.
Whoa.
And I'm like, what? I have been with this phone and I've never known how to use it. So in this time, phones are there. They have known how to flip. They have known how to do stuff.
To search,
And
like,
as much as they talk about restriction of content, but then it is not really safe. So
Yeah.
what should parents do? Parents should train their kids about values and what they should consume and what they should not consume, because the owners of this platform may not be able to tailor their algorithm for kids or something. But there is apps that have come again. There is like the Family Link app that helps you as a parent to monitor what is happening in your child's phone. So that can really help. But then social media is here with us. We cannot run away from it. When I grew up, you were to have a phone after high school. Right now, I talk to grade threes and they're like, I am on TikTok. I have an Instagram account. And
They have their own tablets.
some of them have more likes than me. They have more followers than
That's
me.
so true.
And
That's so
interesting.
true.
And I'm like, at age 3,
I
who?
know.
And that is where we are. And the pressure is just increasing.
Yeah.
And to talk about another challenge that you mentioned about work-life
Work-life
balance,
balance.
I want to tell dear parent, it has to be intentional. Intentional. For some, it may mean even probably starting a business so that you may not be dependent on an 8 to 5. For some, it may mean thinking outside the box so that you do what is important.
Yeah.
Should I tell you the truth? The greatest gift of God to man is the gift of parenting. That we become co-creators with him and we take on his image, because God is a creator and he's a father.
Yeah.
And if I have brought you in as a HR and you don't do your HR duties, then you are failing. And if God has brought us in as parents and then we are failing on our parenting duty, then we should not receive any salary or any commendation as parents. So what I mean to say is, parents, I totally understand and can't even fathom how you are juggling and balancing business, work, being a CEO and everything. But I pray that you be intentional in guiding this girl and this boy, because I have studied epitaphs and no epitaphs read that my dad was the richest. All epitaphs are about the time they spend with the son. They're about how they made them feel. So be intentional, create time, take parenting as one of your goal and one of your major duty that you have to give an account both here and probably in heaven.
Yeah. Wow. As you can hear us from Gifted Urban Converse, the conversation is mind-blowing and we're really getting to understand reflective parenting. Now as we switch to something else,
Okay.
it's just not really different, but kind of close to what you were speaking about technology. Technology came and we felt like it has come to make our work easier, our lives better. But currently it has its pros and cons as well. And maybe you can just share a bit about how has it impacted parenting, our modern parenting today, technology as a whole. Let's talk about social media, all that, the exposure. Well, last yes, we have its advantages, but what kind of impact has it brought to parenting?
Number one thing is distraction.
Wow.
We are all distracted. Have you visited a home and you find the dad on the phone, the kid on the tablet, the mom, and it is supper time?
Actually, maybe at times you find that we're in a setup, but a dinner setup. And then for me to comment that the food was good, because everyone is in their phone, I just send it in the group, the family group. Oh, the food is nice. Have you tasted the rice? And we're all in our phones. Imagine you as a guest, so you can relate with what you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So number one is distractions.
Yeah.
We are so much distracted.
True.
And the greatest gift you can give someone is attention. And social media has taken away our attention. And to just flip it over, we pay social media by paying our attention. And that is how we are the product in social media spaces. So one, we have denied our children that time to be able to interact with them.
Yeah.
That I can still be at home and still be working on my phone. So the distraction, the lack of attention then that we give our kids. And also, monkey see, monkey do. So if your kid sees you on phone consistently, then you can't tell them a phone is something they should avoid.
Yeah.
Because they're like, if this gives joy to mom, it should also give joy to me. So that's why they are demanding. They also want to get the thrill. They also want to get that hype of also being on a gadget. So number two is it has also modeled that then we can't, if you don't have a phone, you are bored. Long are the days when you used to go out and do dufumpararo and go swing and and legend comes back home with a torn shirt and with a hat trick of scores.
Muddy all over from head to toe.
Yes. Right now all the kids are so cute, like
Yeah,
they're just looking
yeah,
so good
yeah.
that they don't have even time to play.
Yeah.
And play is important in a child's development. So that modeling has really impacted. But even number three is the pressure of other parents. So you are a parent, I am a parent. We are hanging out with my kid in Garden City and we are having pizza and all that. You are there at church, probably not having plans to go to Garden City or even any other garden in life.
Yeah.
Probably just trying to go home and just do skooma and
Relax
everything.
and-
So you start asking yourself, am I even a serious parent? Like, what am I doing with my life? You know, your kids, some of the kids will come home and they're like, oh, we were in Maldives during the holiday, we were in Dubai, but you were in Dumoini during the holidays. So you are wondering, what is it? And that is comparisonitis. We are comparing ourselves and asking ourselves, there are kids who are already brand ambassadors at age 3. Your kid doesn't know even what a brand
They're
is.
show hosts.
And it gives us lots of pressure
Yeah.
to really want
Yeah.
to match up. It's birthday and probably we shall talk about kids and birthdays another day.
Oh, wow.
But the whole pressure around birthdays and balloons that we can spend party and all
Yeah.
that. So the pressure is there. So comparison. And that also brings mental issues because as a parent, if the other kid, if you see the friend to Jaden, they had a very amazing party. Guests came. Bahati came, for instance, or someone else came. And your birthday party, hey, you're actually negotiating whether there shall be a cake or ugali.
Ugali.
And that can really put parents on the wall
Yeah.
and choosing to be pressured to do better. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Even like currently, yes, I'm not a parent, but I'm getting all these tips to understand even how to welcome and incorporate reflective parenting in my life, even as I grow up. And yes, maybe we can delve into how can parents adapt these challenges. We've talked about a lot of challenges. Yes, there are very many advantages where you get to learn that the child, even before they join the school, they already know how to read. They already know how to spell, count the numbers, At least it has made it easier, the technology, let's say, for instance. But now, how can these parents adapt challenges? They are already facing these challenges, and they're wondering, how can I come around this? How can I make it better as at now? We're in different places where we are facing different challenges at different phases. How can I adapt to this and make it better where I am?
Cool. Allow me say that there is no silver bullet to all these challenges. And children are very unique. Families are very unique. And it will be a lie if someone will tell you, this is the template of parenting. Follow this and you'll never go wrong.
Yeah.
That is a lie. But the truth is you can learn. So number one is as a parent, you have to be intentional on learning. We have said 60 years down the line, you don't have a school of parenting. You can't graduate with parenting
Yeah,
from a
we
master.
don't have a
And
blueprint.
probably by the time you will have graduated, things would have already changed and your masters will be obsolete.
Sure.
So one is just keep learning. And one or two people to learn from is one, learn yourself. I get to speak to parents and you just realize how self-unaware they are about even them. They don't know their likes and dislikes. They don't know their personalities. They don't understand their self-concept. But number two, also learn about your child. Every kid is an individual.
Yeah.
They are unique. Don't say the way I parented Jen is the way I want to parent Johnny. They could be the same bloodline, but then they are unique. They have their own genetic makeup. They have different fingerprints. They are different. So get to learn, how do I handle this girl? I'm a third born in a family of 6. Our firstborn, totally different. Myself, totally different. Our lastborn, literally, she's a lastborn. So if Mama Ebe wants to treat us equally, then they may miss out. So one, learn about yourself, but also learn about your child. But then number two is be proactive. Don't let things happen to you, but make things happen. If you desire this kid to be open up, start modeling opening up at that early stage.
Yeah.
Right now, we talk to teenagers and we had sessions with them yesterday, and you ask them, why do you have issues with opening? They're like, hey, how can I open to a stranger and when I wouldn't even open to my dad? When you come home as a boy, you tell them, nimepigwa, nakwambia, hey, Buddha, toka hapa kuwa mwanaume. That is how you shut up forever. And as a girl, you come home and you probably having this challenge and you tell your mom and she's like, but you're a girl.
You need to know how to maneuver.
Yes, you just find your way out. And that is how the voice of kids are shut and they become silent. So model open communication at an early stage.
Yeah.
Let them be able to know they are able to communicate. I'm speaking about being proactive. The things you want to see, the values you want to see, the discipline around phones and everything. Start modeling, even by yourself. When you come home, can you put your phone elsewhere and just be in the room and be silent and be with them? Play. Like right now, I'm making up cards that can help parents interact with their teenagers, so that you're not on phone. We can play. You can ask mom, how are you like when you are a teenager? And mom will be like, hey, by then nilikuwa sumbua. You know, nasema wewe ulikuwa unasumbua, lakini mimi ukweli nilikuwa nasumbua sana. And we're able to empathize and ask them. So creating time to be intentional and be proactive. I feel those top 3, learning about your child, but also modeling and being proactive, would help to handle some of these challenges, so that things don't just happen to you and your daughter and your son, but then you are able to be proactive enough to chart a course of how it will be and the outcomes you would expect.
Wow. That's quite a lot about parenting. And parents, I think to me, gonga pale ndipo. Yeah, and so talk about the children. Raising resilient and self-aware children. We have we've talked about a lot in parenting, our parents and all that, the parenting has been impacted, the impact using social media, technology and all that. But now I'm coming as a parent now. Yes, I've embraced resilient parenting. I've come to learn myself. I know what I want, and I really need to raise this child in a better way. But now I need to raise a resilient and self-aware child. What's the starting point?
The truth is, kids and children, the curve of growth is very exponential. Or there are so many changes. Between age 1 to 6, there are lots of things happening. Between 6 to 12, lots of things happening. Adolescent, lots of things. No, adolescent is even in pre, middle, and late adolescent. Lots of things. And it is even hard to really wrap around what is happening in the life of your child. So one is to really understand what is happening in your child right now, cognitively, emotionally, socially, and even developmentally. When you understand what is happening, allow me zero in into the teenage, because that is my area. It's because teenagers at this point, they're wanting to find their independence. They are questioning, why should we even go to church? And at times parents feel, umekuwa mtukutu, siku hizi you watch nini kwa nyumba yako? They are not watching anything. They're just asking, who said we must go to church on Sunday? And woe unto you if you are raised in a pastor's house and one of your kids tell you, Dad, mbona tuende church? Uko like, shetani, pepo chafu. Si pepo chafu.
I know,
They just want to understand, why do we have to go to church?
Yeah.
Because other people elsewhere are doing something different. And I feel that at times parents are so locked up that they don't want to speak up. So they are getting their own identity. And if you tell them why they should go to church, why they should go to the mosque, why they should do why they should keep up with the values, then they form their own why. I tell parents, never tell a kid to do things for your reasons. Let them do it for their reasons. And one way to do that is to understand that they are growing, they are getting to their identity. But also, number two, emotionally, there's a lot of things happening. The hormones are there, the testosterone, the estrogen have started coming up. And first they grow, their limbs, they grow, they are tall. And if they are ladies, the hips have come, the calves, menses have started coming. And they are like, it is crazy. They start having this attraction to the other gender. And they're like, am I even normal? And all that. All of a sudden, someone tells them, you're cute, you're handsome. They're like, oh, mama's never told me about this. And it is crazy. It is crazy. And in school, there are demands. Probably they're in Form 2. The syllabus is crazy. They need to do chemistry, biology. And they're wondering. And they still need to go to church. Quite a lot of things that are happening in their life. And as a parent, if you don't seek to understand your child first, then you will start saying they are acting out. And I said sometime back in this studio that acting out is communication. The kid is saying a message, and this message is for you as a parent to decode. When you're telling them, go to their room, ask yourself, what are they going to their room to do? Wakiandika kwa mlango, knock before you enter, and hawalipi rent kwa hiyo nyumba.
Why?
You become even mad. But then ask yourself, what is happening? They want their independence. At this stage, they want to go. They don't want to go to the supermarket with you. They don't want you to hold their hands. But wazazi bado wanashindilia.
While crossing the road.
Mom, mbona unanifuata? They want to go to the malls themselves with their friends. And you're like, unaenda na nani? Julius, usiende na yeye. And all that. But they want to make their identity. So to raise the resilient kids, one, understand what is happening to them developmentally. But then number two, seek to understand before you are understood. Most of the times we want them to understand, and we want them to understand by trying to guilt trip them in quotes. The way I'm doing this, I know I'm doing this for your wellness. The reason why I quit that job is because I want you to have a better life. The reason why I took you to Alliance is that you have a better future. Who told you they want to have a better future?
You don't even know that they have made a choice to have a better future.
Yes, these are your own reasons. And when I'm talking about careers, parents tell their kids, go become a lawyer. Hii familia hatuna lawyer. Hawataki kuwa lawyer. Wanataka kuwa daktari, wanataka kuwa content creator.
Wanataka kuwa graphic designer. But the company's image is engineers.
Yes, that is what the family really wants. Wow. So get to have them make their own decisions. And I'm not downtroding the aspect of guidance. They really need guidance. But then seek to understand. Because I have seen faces where in December I attended a graduation, one who had done law, and I was just having conversation. The family was really happy and everything. And I asked them, what do you see yourself with law? And they're like, honestly, I did this for my parents. Wow. And I asked them, are you going to Kenya School of Law? I may just go. But you see, this is someone who's this is not even their sweet spot. So
they're not even living their life.
Yes. Seek to really understand. And now the aspect of resilience, help them make decisions. Don't cushion your kid from facing the consequences of their choices. This should be in a guided space. For instance, if you told them to clean their cloth or to make sure they're in the dirty cloth bucket and they didn't do, and it's on a Sunday, na hawana nguo ya kuvaa, usikimbie super kutafuta nguo nyingine, acha wavae ile uchafu yenye waliacha.
Ndio ibike.
Si kuaibika, you're teaching them that choices have consequences. And you're just teaching them that you not bail them every other time. I literally feel at times as parents we have cautioned our kids. Mtoto anaenda kuchokozana kwa jirani, anapigwa, anakuja kaa analia. Wewe unatoka unasomea huyo jirani mwingine.
Unachapa mtoto wake tena.
Without understanding what was it. So let them face consequences that of course are really guided, but also number two, teach them that life is not probably that very easy. The reason why when people get to early adulthood, we're having things of people following sponsors for being in a relationship because of just cheap too and food and all that. It's because they have not been taught about resilience, that things don't come easy, that even the money that we're enjoying as a family right now, it didn't come on a silver platter. And I think that at times parents are very mean with telling us how money is found and how they're even giving us this luxurious life. So me na feel life ni hivyo. Wait until I'm 23 and I've graduated and I realize, kumbe curtains ni 10K. Na hiyo time niko na thao.
Unazienjoy tu nyumbani.
Uko like kumbe rent hatukuwa tunaishi kwa hii ploti hivyo tu, mama alikuwa analipa rent. So start teaching them responsibility, start letting them know, if you do this, this will happen to you, and let them start making choices, independent choices, with a guided in a guided kind of way, and then they will start knowing, I am responsible for what happens, and that will really build someone that is self-aware, but also one who is resilience and responsible.
Okay. On the same note, as you have spoken about responsibility and all that, one of the common problem as well with most so the teenagers is problem solving. Sometimes you find someone has to tackle something and solve a certain issue. But because of pressure, there's so many answers just navigating around his space. The friends, there's what the friends are advising him.
Yes, yes.
There's now the parents, what he has learned, and now he's inside him, the intrinsic, like that voice inside him telling him, this is what you should do. How about now the problem solving? How can we teach them like the right way to solve their issues?
Allow me say that if they have never solved a problem at home, they can never solve a problem elsewhere.
Okay.
So if, for instance,
Yeah.
if you told them to prepare rice for lunch and then they realize hakuna kitunguu na nyanya, and jioni ukakuja akakwambia hawakutu kukula lunch, kwa nini hakukuwa na kitunguu na nyanya? Then no, probably you're raising kids that may never solve a problem. So it is you to teach them, allow them the discretion. Waambie hapa kuna unga ya chapo, kuna nini na nini, kuna coins hapa. You will make what you will do for supper. At times come home intentionally late and let them see what they would have made about it. At times usilipe tokens and let them just see, are they thinking about how to go about it. Ama utapata mamori wamekaa kwa giza, wametulia tu hivi. Ukikuja saa 3, hey mom tuko njaa,
Hakuna steam.
mama Ebe would ask you, kwani nilienda na sufuria? And you go like, hey. Yes, so allow them to put them into problem situation and step back and see what will happen. See whether they will be proactive. And it just helps them to build their creativity. Can they take responsibility? And now, so that when it comes to the outside world, in school, when they are torn in between following friends and choosing values, then they know I have solved problems before and they went well. So I can be able to trust myself with the choice that I make. But also, teach them the aspect of sowing and reaping in regards to problem solving and when they're in dilemma. One of the greatest lessons you can ever teach your child is that choices have consequences. And I feel that at times that looks like a cliche, but it is the truth of it.
It's the truth.
That where you are right now, Gracie, is a function of the seeds you sowed yesterday and so many years ago. You can't blame the president. You can't say nizi chapati mob ziko sahi ndio the reason why I'm the way I am right now. It is a function. Of course, there are other external factors, but then it's a function of what you made yesterday. And today is a seed time for tomorrow's harvest. Let your child know that any choice you're making in the aspect of solving problems, then you will reap tomorrow. If they understand that whatever I am doing is for my reasons and not for my parents' reason, then that discretion helps them to navigate through choices, knowing that what are the options, but number 2, what is the best outcome do I need to do? And then number 3, what is the best thing I can do right now that will not only make my future, but also make the other people around me proud.
Wow, indeed, this has been a very insightful discussion on reflective parenting. And one thing we've come to understand that reflective parenting needs intentionality and it's a continuous learning process. And so thank you very much, Evan, for even sharing your wisdom. And maybe for further conversation or discussions, a parent might feel, I need to see you in private, or I need these counseling sessions, I need this. So how can we get you, and what other services does Eben offer?
Great. So to my dear viewer and listener and the parent out here and people who are in the education system, people who run programs for teenagers and for kids, you can get me on social media, Gifted Eben, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and everywhere. My phone number is 0729 440 874. And it will be down here on this video. So reach out. I don't have someone who handles my call. I will talk to you personally. So you won't be like,
There's
ah,
no
they're not like,
PA.
Eben is not available. I am available 24/7. And I'll be glad to just bring insight to your space.
Yeah.
But allow me say that you are doing your best, but you can do better.
Yeah.
So feel loved, but desire to do more.
Wow, amazing. And to our dear, amazing viewer, thank you for tuning in. This is Gifted Urban Conversations. And also to just wrap it up, this is not the full stop. It's just a comma we're putting into reflective parenting. We'll be bringing in more episodes. And I've been your host, Grace. Be sure to tune in. Adios.